Uh-oh, it says it's not going live. What's the problem?
It
Go.
is live.
Uh-uh. An error occurred. I checked it out this morning. It should be okay. No, no, don't do that. Whoops. No. Are we live now? Yeah, I think we are. Okay. Yeah, okay. We were, folks, this is Dumont Owen. I'm here with Purvi Shah. We had a little scare for a minute because StreamYard was telling us that there was an error and we weren't going to be able to go live. But we're here. And I am so excited because I met Purvi a while ago and this is just so timely. You know, we have all been on Zoom, you know, for the last 2 years now because of the pandemic. And we've, you know, some of us have gotten, you know, we don't really understand how to look professional and how to look our best online on camera. So that's Purvi's specialty. She's actually been a makeup image consultant and eyebrow shaper. Is that what they call it? Eyebrow shaping consultant for 25 years now. You know, her company is called, um, hold
On
on,
yeah.
Flawless Cosmetics. And she's going to be here talking to us about how we can use makeup and grooming tips to look our most professional on LinkedIn and Zoom and any other online thing that you're on. Right now, we're streaming on LinkedIn, so I'm really excited about hearing this. And Purvi, I wonder if we could take a moment and just, you know, tell us a little bit of your background and how you got to where you are right now.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here today, Duman.
Oh, delighted.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And so I grew up in a household where my mother was a beautician. So I grew up seeing all the transformation that my mother made and
Mm-hmm.
how it boosted their confidence. And then that led me to pursue a career in the beauty industry. So I have been a makeup artist, a hair and makeup artist, and an image consultant for well over 25 years now.
And you're in Chicago.
Yes, I'm based in Chicago and I also teach virtually. So I have a clientele all over the world.
Oh, great. And you know, I'm wondering because how long have you been doing the virtual consulting?
Well over 2.5 years now.
Okay, so right when all of this was hitting, and
Yeah.
I know so many of us, and Purvi, I was talking to you about this the other day. So many of us don't take into account that we're on camera and we still need to look professional. You know, we still want to give that image. And we were talking the other day, and I was commenting that I've seen people and I know how professional they are, and I know they're really at the top of their industry, but they don't come across professionally on camera. So I really wanted to explore that with you, Purvi, and you know, just kind of pick your brain on all the tips we can get on how to improve our makeup and how to do male grooming too, because um, that was something we never thought about in the, you know, before the virtual world, and yet. You know, now that I've talked with you, I'm watching men on camera on the news and things, they wear makeup.
Yes, they do. They
They
do.
wear makeup, and it's not. It's really. It makes them look much more professional and much more attractive. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, you know, how is camera makeup different than when we're in person?
Sure. So the camera makeup is kind of different because it's not a lot about the color, but it's more about the framing of your face. And
Okay.
the camera light can sometimes wash you away. So, if you think when you're putting a makeup in the morning to go to your office, it's a little different. And then with the same makeup, if you come on a camera, you look like washed out.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to actually frame your face. In the meaning for ladies, I would say first they need to do a strong eyebrow. They need to
Okay.
fill the brows. They need to put a little bronzer to frame their face, like their facial structures. They need a
Mhm.
pop of color on the lips. If you wear like a very light lipstick, it's going to wash you away. All the camera and the
So
lights.
what kind of lipstick do we need? A brighter lipstick?
A little bit of a brighter lipstick, something a little bit brighter or in a mid tone, but not too light because it's not going to show. You look very washed out.
Okay.
A little bit of a color you need, and you may feel like, oh, this is a little bit too much makeup. But on camera, when you come up, you feel like, okay, this is not too much. This is just,
Okay. Okay.
that's the big difference. And even your skin, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of makeup on, but on when you come on the camera, like the stage makeup, how they wear, when you go to
Yeah.
the performance, it's a little different. It's not so much. You don't have to put so much of makeup, but it has to be a little bit more quantity wise and a little bit more contouring, more framing of your face.
Okay. And by framing, you mean like a bronzer around the edges?
Edges of your cheekbones, on your jawline, and framing your eyebrows, framing your eyes, putting a
Mm-hmm.
pop of color on your lips, things like that. It's not too much
Okay.
about the lashes or all that
Okay.
Kardashian looks. No.
Okay. So here's a question, because I know that you also help people with colors and what kinds of colors, and could you talk about that a little bit? Because I remember you were talking about warm versus cool, and it's all a mystery to me. So if you could just say a little bit more about that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. The color is your power, I would say. As you wear some colors, if you wear some colors, it brings light, and immediately start getting compliments from people around you. Oh, you look good today. You know
Mm-hmm.
why? It's just because you're wearing the right color. So color theory is something that I teach, in the basics of my number one thing that I teach. Because if your colors are not right, it can wash you out or it can bring light to your face. So your knowing your color theory is number one. Like there are cool tones, there are warm tones, and there are medium tones or a neutral tone. So you need to exactly know what color theory you are, and then you choose clothes, your makeup according to that color to bring light to your face. And the
Okay.
way you can do it is a little bit, I teach all that in my course.
Okay, okay. So whether we are warm or neutral or cool is how we determine what we should wear. So
And there is
so
more to that. There is
yeah.
this is just the basic, but there is more color theory that goes in, and then you have your own palettes to choose the palette from there. First is this is just warm, cool, or neutral. It's just the basics, and then
Okay.
there's more to that, and that goes same with the men too. And men, yes, same with the men too.
Yeah, because men have up until fairly recent years been very limited in the kind of attire that they could wear,
Yes,
in terms of looking professional, and that's changed a lot since then.
yes, yes.
And I guess now that I think about it, sure, I think about my husband. He looks much better in some colors than others. He doesn't listen to me, but he looks much better in some than in others. I should send him to you, Purvi. Maybe he'll listen to you. Um, so how about the men? How can men really, you know, give themselves a little bit better appearance on camera?
Sure. So the first thing I start out with the men is they shower and groom your like put a wear your hair properly. Sometimes when men come on the camera, they are really not aware of their hairstyles. You should shave, or if you have a beard, you need to put a conditioner. And surprisingly, on camera, when I put makeup, I teach makeup how to wear makeup for men. They look so much better. So I start out with their skincare, like a grooming, like you need a nice moisturizer. They can also use a scrub. They can all, and then I tell them to, the first thing is, of course, you need your hairstyle in place. Either you shave, your beard is under control. And the other thing for men also, the eyebrows. They
Okay.
need to frame their eyebrows, not with the makeup, not necessarily with the makeup, but they need to get it groomed with
But
the
no curly and all that stuff. Okay. And with beards, I know that they're very popular right now. Um, is there any kind of a rule of thumb maybe about how long a beard should be if you're being professional? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there because
Yeah,
I'm totally naive.
yeah, it's a personal choice, but it has to look very groomed. It should not be, like flying your hair. There should not be a hair flyaway or anything, even with the hairstyle. So some of my clients do have a shorter beard, some of them have a longer beard, but I tell them to, if they can just, put some gel and look more professional. There
Oh.
is a, yeah, beard oil, things like beard oil, beard gel, so that will just tame the flyaways. So it looks more
Mhm.
polished, it looks more polished. Even if you have a longer beard or shorter beard, it looks more polished and, more conditioned. So it's not dry and it doesn't look flaky. Um,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Just
Um,
looking.
and and I'm not asking this for my husband because he has a full head of hair, but what about men who have lost some or all of their hair? Is there anything that they should be doing to counter like shining, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes. So the next step is, after you take care of your hairstyle and your beard, is to put some concealer. If they have any dark under eye dark circles, for men, yes, men
Okay.
do that too. And the other step is to put a powder, which is a setting powder or a little bit of a color powder to tame away all the shine. And
Okay.
that goes also on their forehead, or if they don't have hair, all the way on their head too, to tame away the shine.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was thinking about it this morning. I was thinking, well, what do guys do? Because I happen to think, men who are totally bald are really cool looking, you know. But I started thinking about that and going, well, but what about what about the shine? In person it's fine, you know. But on camera that might be an issue.
Yes, and that goes with women too. You don't want a lot of shine. You need
Yeah,
a matte finish, a matte, dewy matte finish. Not too dry as well, but a
right.
dewy matte finish. And so you can definitely use moisturizer. That's why I tell men also, moisturize your skin after you shower and get ready, and put the powder to tame away the shine. You need a matte, even look.
And so, and I think a lot of people, and I can think of myself when I was much younger, I didn't think about moisturizer. What does moisturizer do for our skin? When because I know there's more to it than that.
Right. Moisturizer is basically a conditioning, so that you don't look dry at all. And when we talk or when we laugh, nothing like in our lines, the laugh lines or expression lines, they look even. So you need
Okay.
moisture for sure. Otherwise, it will look very flaky and dry
Oh,
and flaky. Your skin is going to, if your skin is dry and flaky, your makeup is not going to go on.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a
So
lot of sense.
moisturizer is number one thing you need.
Yeah, so it's also because when I think of moisturizer, I think of something that you put on at night before you go to bed, but it also helps with your appearance online.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, what would be, some of the grooming steps that we need to take if we are just starting out and building, our makeup and our clothes? How could we start out? What would be some of the things that we could start with?
Sure. So the first thing for both for men and women is to go with your skincare regimen. You need a very good skincare regimen, as we were talking about. Moisturizer. That's the first thing you need. The moisturizer. You need the scrub will help very much. So you need to, meaning to exfoliate the dead skin cells. So you need
Okay.
to scrub your skin maybe 1 or 2 times a week, depending on your skin type. And that goes with men too. You need it 1 or 2 times. And also, you need to put a lip scrub. Honestly, a lip scrub is another very famous thing these days that people are investing in. So the lip and the lip balms, because that is also moisturizing. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
moisturizing. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes with men and women both. So the first
Okay.
thing you need to take care is your skincare, and the second thing is your color theory. You need to know your colors before you put on the clothes or before you put on the makeup. You need to.
And there's always we can always take something like Zoom and see ourselves on it and
Mhm.
look and kind of get a check too and say, well, you know, that's not coming across quite the way I want it to come across.
Yes, yes,
Because I think with women particularly, or maybe it's women of a certain age or a certain style, but I think a lot of us have some resistance to wearing a lot of makeup because in person it feels too made up, and we don't want to look that way.
yeah.
So we have to kind of be courageous with it.
Yes, and the one tip I will give is before you go on a camera, just to look at yourself on your monitor, on your screen, on the computer, and see how it makeup looks. So that's one great tip I tell with men and women. See how you're looking, and if you feel
Hmm.
that you're looking a little bit washed out, go ahead and put a little bit more makeup on, or more color, whatever you feel
Okay.
like it's missing, and don't
Okay.
hesitate because this is just a camera.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's helpful to both men and women.
Yeah.
So, I know that you were talking to me the other day about something that you thought might be helpful for people who are trying to learn about color, something that they could get on your website.
Yes, I have a website which is called onpointimageconsulting.com.
I'll drop that in. Oop,
They can reach me from that website.
I hope I spelled that right. Unpoint,
On point.
unpointimageconsulting.com. Yeah. Okay. And you also had something that they could get on your website.
Yes, they can definitely reach to me, and there is a lot of information, a lot of resources about how they can improve their appearance on camera, and a lot of information about the image consulting, why you need an image consultant, and why it is so important to carry your image. And
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about the benefits of looking professional online because as we were talking the other day, I think I mentioned to you that I've seen some people who are really taking the working from home the wrong way. It doesn't mean just show up however you are. That works when we're on camera with our nephew, but not necessarily on screen.
yeah, so actually, what happens is like whenever we meet somebody or whenever we are on a in person or virtually, we only have 3 seconds to make that first impression.
Wow, 3 seconds.
3 seconds is the max we have before you even open your mouth. So in that first 3 seconds, we are being, people have made a judgment about your expertise, your worthiness, if they want to work with you or not, even before you open your mouth. And that
Okay.
goes in virtual world and also in person. I'm sure we all have experience, like if you go to a Starbucks and if you're just wearing a sweatshirts and just a casual attire, and there is a person next to you who is wearing a professional, you can see that they get a little different
Mm-hmm. They
looks,
stand
right?
out.
Yeah, they stand out. And that's what I teach my clients, how to stand out. And when I say stand out, doesn't scream like me, don't look at me, but standing out meaning like who you are, be
Right.
professional, wear your right color, and how to be well groomed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When we talk about standing out, that has to do a lot with the concept of personal branding.
Yes.
And how because one of the things that a personal brand does is it differentiates us from our competition. And, if people are able to make that decision in 3 seconds, I mean, I knew it was fast. I did not know it was 3 seconds. So that is really fast. And we know that that's particularly important on social media platforms
Yes.
where, and more than anything on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is such a business oriented platform that we can't show up the same way we do on Facebook if we're talking to our buddies.
Absolutely. And that goes also with your profile pictures. How you wear, what you wear, how you show up in what is your profile picture speaks what you do.
Oh, and you know something else now on LinkedIn, and they introduced this. It's been a while now, I'd say 18 months to 2 years. I may be off on that. But now in our profile picture, when you first go on somebody's site, they have the opportunity, or their profile, people have the opportunity now to do a video
Yes.
during that time, and it's a 30-second video, so it's a little bit longer than that 3 seconds, but that is so powerful because what it does is it gives people the impression that they're having a conversation with us, and it really does create a true differentiator, about what our personality's like,
Mhm.
how we talk, how we interact. And I can see, so it's not just the profile picture anymore. It's actually the profile video too. And
Yeah.
so one of the things that I tell people is, and Rusty, my faithful VA behind us, and then Rusty too, has
Mhm.
just dropped in your onpointimageconsulting.com link for everyone. So, and what we'll do is when we send this out, we'll also make sure that that's in the
Mhm.
information that we send out. So those of you who are watching, the recording, understand we're going to send you a couple of links with it so that you can really get to know Purvi a little bit better. And so with that video, that is just such a powerful way to relate to people. And so what I tell my clients is, and I'm telling everyone really, um, do it more than once. Just keep going, shoot a bunch of them because the ones in the middle are going to be the better ones.
Mhm.
Because we're not too relaxed and we're not too stiff. It's like the three bears. We're just right. We're in the place that's just right. So I really appreciate all the tips you've given us. You know, Particularly things about framing the face, because I can see where that is really important for both men and women to do. And looking at what we're wearing and checking in before we get on online. That's what I remember when I was growing up. My mother used to always have a mirror by the door.
Mhm.
She always had a mirror by the door. She just made sure her hair was right and, the makeup was right because
Yeah.
she came from that era where you didn't leave the house without your face on. That was the way it was talked about. And things have gotten a little more casual in some places, but that Starbucks analogy is really a good one. And I was thinking too, I see people at the doctor's office and
Mhm.
and how the doctor, it's not that they're going to give better medical advice, but how you're treated,
Yes.
and how people interact with you. It's really true wherever you are, and it's so important. I can see walking on a car lot and wanting to project an auto lot and wanting to project the right image. So this is just so important. And all the different places. It's not just Zoom anymore. We're on StreamYard right now, streaming to 3 different platforms. And there are a lot of others. There are all these like new video services that have cropped up that
Yes.
everybody's doing, and it applies, I think, whether you're doing a pre-recorded video or whether you are doing one that's live.
Yes.
We just have to be very, very clear.
Yes.
So, Rusty, thank you for dropping that link in for us. And if anybody has any further questions, I'm going to just check one thing over here.
And Jiman, I do teach a class called Rock Your Presence on Zoom. So we do cover a lot of this, what we talk about, and even much more.
Yeah, and you also do VIP days where someone can book
Yes,
the day with you,
yes,
and just have Pervy all to yourself, to get the best feedback
yes,
because um, you really can't be more specific unless you're working with the person in a class or, online and really
it's
helping
like
them,
a day
giving
with
them.
me, and we go over a lot of these color theory, the grooming tips, the skincare regimens. We also cover a little bit of the lighting in your
Of
background,
what?
the lighting, the correct lighting. Sometimes
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
then it can also wash you away if the lighting is not correct. So the lighting and a little bit, it's a little bit about the background as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like the clothing, like you cannot have too much busy clothes, like a prints or something very. So we go over a lot of those.
Yeah, yeah. I bet houndstooth wouldn't do that well on camera
Yes.
unless it was a really small one. So listen, Purvi, thank you so much for being with us today. Guys, if you have any questions for Purvi, you can put them in the chat or put them in the comments as you're watching the show, and we will get back to you with the answers. So with that, we're going to say goodbye for now and thank Purvi so much because this has been so enlightening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was my pleasure.
Oh, loved having you on. Thanks a lot, Purvi. Bye, guys. See you next week. We're going to be talking about um, we were having Ben Joya back, and we're going to talk about what goes on beyond doing your signature story, which is what he told us last time, all the different kinds of stories you can be doing. So we're looking forward to talking to Ben next week, and we're really appreciative of you have been being here this week, Purvi. So bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Thank